slide that, that'll turn your mic on. And that's it.
And that's it.
Push it that way.
she's working at Xfinity. She doesn't really like it.
Good evening, everybody. We want to get started. So, what a great evening it's been so far. So great to catch up with so many. And my official job here is to welcome everybody and to have an opening prayer. I'm Al Lopez, and I'm one of the co-founders of the Nicolás Fund for Education, and President Emeritus, I guess, is another title I have. And but it's a pleasure to be here and to welcome you. And I'm here to extend a warm welcome to everybody to our annual Fulfilling a Dream dessert and fundraiser. And of course, I want to thank everybody that has contributed to the dessert, and to especially Kathy Riper and Becky Merritt for all of the hard work that they've put into making this possible. And if I mentioned other people, then I'd forget somebody, but they've really made this happen, so thank you. So before I dive into the heart of our program, I do want to make a couple of introductions, and the first is to our pastor, our esteemed pastor, Michael Lee. Michael, thank you. I was going to introduce Mink. Where's Mink? Yeah. Somebody's got to keep the home fire burning. Yeah. Well, we're glad you're here. In fact, Michael came with us to Guatemala just last August and had the privilege of baptizing 28 of our students, and as well as our president, Becky Merritt. And so that was just a great experience. Also, I'd like to introduce Rich Rice, who's with us. And Rich is the executive director of WIND, W-I-N-D, stand up. We've been on many trips together. WIND is a kind of a sister organization to the Nicolás Fund for Education, and has really invested a lot of time and energy into the health and the education of primary school students, now also middle school students, and some of his middle school graduates come to the Nicolás Christian Schools. So, Rich, thank you for joining us. And today is my 44th anniversary, and I have to introduce my wife, Kathy. The love of my life, yes. So, anyway, so one of our goals, quite frankly, is to have as many of you come down and see the work that's going on in Guatemala. And I'm just curious, just to give you a sense of a show of hands, how many of you have actually been to visit Guatemala, and maybe even all the work that we've done with the Nicolás Fund for Education? Yeah, that's... So that looks like about 40%, and I think there's an opportunity for 60% more to join us in this great work. Well, tonight we gather in solidarity. So let us bow our heads as we seek God's presence, and thank Him for and with hearts of gratitude and reverence, let me say. So, Lord, we stop. And we breathe the breath of life that you give us. We thank you for your unwavering faithfulness. Thank you for drawing us to create NFE and to allow us to serve more children as each year passes. Lord, we express our heartfelt gratitude for all of the loyal donors who generously know no bounds, enabling us to care for those who are most vulnerable and marginalized in our world. Lord, may we be those who loose the bounds of injustice, to share with the oppressed, and to be your agents to dismantle even racism through education. Lord, we pray that you would direct each of us as we seek to see our NFE students break the cycle of generational poverty, that they would be equipped with the Christian character and competence to lead the issue from the ravages of war that we've seen just a generation ago to become a region that flourishes. So, Lord, hear our prayer. Amen. And so now, as we embark on the evening's activities, it's my pleasure to introduce none other than the engineer, Ivan España, our country director from Guatemala. So welcome, Ruben Ivan España Marroquin.
Thank you all. Thank you, everyone. I am very happy, and my wife Janet sends greetings to all of you. She is recovering from her cornea transplant, and we are so thankful as a family and as a Christians because that cornea came from the United States to my wife just in one day by plane. So it was a miracle that we are very thankful for. Thanks. And this is really about what we are going to talk about. It's not about a transaction. It is about a transformation of many students. Your empathy with compassion moves you to action to help these students. Tonight is about witnessing the impact your precious investment has been treated with integrity, reliability, and respect. Tonight is about transforming the lives of hundreds of souls. Nicolás Fund for Education has been providing impoverished youngsters with access to top-notch educational opportunities for more than 12 years now. It's amazing. And helping them to break free from the bonds of poverty through education. I want to share with you tonight the inspiring stories of a few people whose lives have been completely changed by the power of education, a power that you have helped to harness with your unwavering support. You know, our students wake up every morning with a light of hope. In spite of bad nutrition, very difficult dirt roads, the absence of books at public schools, poverty and inequality. But thanks to you, they have now safe transportation to school, and after a route that can take around 45 minutes, they arrive at a school where they are welcome with a nutritious breakfast. And after that, a devotional time. By 9 a.m., the classes start with high-quality resources and well-trained teachers. Classes last the whole day, and by 4:30, they will return back home. They have elective courses. This is wonderful. Carpentry, music, greenhousing, special math reinforcement activities, or enhancing their computer skills. Nicolás Fund for Education has a holistic development plan, which includes physical, emotional, vocational, spiritual, and relational development. After leaving our program, 61% of our alumni have gone on to make wage above the poverty line, which is the point which opportunity, security, and dignity converge. However, the tale is not over yet. It is alive and well in youth that have guided into meaningful careers, those utilizing the abilities and information developed in the classroom you helped establish. Their success are being reinvested into impoverished towns that are now only starting to show so much promise. Ladies and gentlemen, it is vital to consider the significant ripple effect your gift has on this region of Guatemala. As we come together this evening and enjoy one another's company. Each donation given, every resource added, each hour of volunteer labor adds up to an unstoppable force. Your contribution leaves a legacy that goes beyond Nicolás Christian School. So, pray about this. Prepare yourself and participate. There are several opportunities to partner with us tonight. With your help, we can reach more and more underprivileged communities and improve the lives of countless more students who want education to be their compass. We will open our new school site in January 2025. Yes. Thanks be to God, thanks to you. And we will continue, with God's help, to develop technical skills among our students, providing education to work in alliances with dear and important partners like Agros International, Seattle Pacific University, Tecnológico de Monterrey, and many more. As you can see, quality education is transforming lives, equipping them for the future and bringing hope, providing for an opportunity for each youth in the region with the highest rate of youth suicide. Matter of fact, worldwide suicide is the fourth leading cause of death among 15 and 20 years olds. As we continue sowing, watering, and harvesting, only God gives growth. Mark 3:25 is a powerful reminder of the importance of unity and harmony in our lives. If a house is divided against itself, that house cannot stand. But when we work together and support each other, we thrive as individuals and as a society. When we work together, we can help our students reach their full potential and develop into a thriving legacy. The reason we said yes in the past, and the reason we continue saying yes today, is empowering a resilient generation that makes a better world one student, one classroom, one community at a time. Finally, I would like to express my sincere gratitude for your unwavering commitment to our cause. May we never stop inspiring, empowering, and transforming, united by the conviction that the most powerful force for change is quality Christian education. Welcome to this ministry where we overcame the past, see the future with optimism, and create God's big family of hope. We know who we are, we know what we do, and we know why we do it. We are sons and daughters of the King. We are expanding His kingdom. And we do this because we want to accomplish the big commission. But first, we want to accomplish the first commandment. Love your God. God also commands us to love our neighbor. Through Nicolás Fund for Education, we show our love through education and relationships with students. So thank you so much for being beacons of hope that made the Almighty God visible. Thank you very much. And now, I want to introduce my student, Ana Reina. She had a lot of struggles with her family. She was abandoned and she needs to start again. But she is a remarkable student, a role model student. So let's take a look at that.
Every sunrise, it brings new hope. A dream of a future full of possibilities.
Mi nombre es Ana Reina Marroquín y esta es mi historia. Soy originaria de San Juan Cotzal, pero a mis 8 años me mudé en la aldea Belén con mi familia, ya que ahí teníamos más acceso a cultivar, ya que es una de las actividades principales, y ahí estudié el nivel primario en la agroaldea Belén. Vengo de una familia que se ha enfrentado a muchos desafíos, ya que mis padres no tuvieron la oportunidad de estudiar. Mi papá solo es agricultor y no tiene un salario, pero con la ayuda de la Fundación Nicolás he tenido una mejor educación y mejores oportunidades. Fondo Nicolás para la Educación abrió una puerta que pensé que estaba cerrada para siempre. Ahora tengo la esperanza y la fe de salir adelante. Aquí no solo aprendo de las matemáticas y ciencias, sino que también sobre el liderazgo y la fe. Con la ayuda de mis profesores y la educación que recibo, estoy lista para establecer metas para mi futuro. Una de mis metas es estudiar la carrera de criminología y criminalística para luego tener un trabajo estable, apoyar a mi familia y apoyar a otros niños de mi comunidad. No tengo palabras ni forma de agradecer más que se sientan satisfechos por el apoyo que han brindado y que se ha aprovechado al máximo y han transformado una vida más. Ahora tengo esperanza para mi futuro. Muchas gracias.
Together, we can ensure that 180 more students can live their dreams just like Ana Reina.
Thank you, Andrew. Oh, amazing, this is on. If you guys can tell, Andrew's actually in the background of this photo, so this is perfect timing. I would love to introduce ourselves. My name is Gabby Beckman.
And I'm Andrew Metz, and we both got to go on the trip this last March. Thanks, Arun. Yeah, so we were both invited down by Zach. We work and are friends with Zach, and so he's gone many times and had invited us to go. And I think the question of why go, there's a lot that I could say. There's a lot of good reasons. But I think the first thing that comes to mind is the impact of the school. I think being in here, right, in the U.S., we think of how far the dollar can go and how much you can give to people and the impact that it has. But being there in Guatemala, actually getting to go to the school, see the impact that $1 can go and the distance it can go and how much it does change lives, for me was so transformative. I think specifically, we had a moment where we were driving. I mean, you land in Guatemala City, and then you take a 9-hour bus ride out to Naba, and then you're in Naba, and we're thinking, I'm like, okay, we're almost there, right? And then it's an hour-long drive out to this village, Kotzal, and we're going out there. We're up this dirt road that is kind of a road, but there's huge potholes, and you're going up, and you're like trying to hold on. I was like, wow, we are driving out to the middle of nowhere. I did not realize how far out here this is. And then specifically, when we were there, we actually got to go and meet with some of the people living in this village after being with the kids all day. And one of the guys, he was talking about how he was actually weaving to make these shirts. Or I guess it was a family. There was a couple families that they were weaving to make the material for these shirts. And they were talking about how grateful they were to God that they had been given these machines to make these shirts, working hours and hours and hours to make just a little bit of material that they could sell to afford food and send their kids to school. And I think in that moment, I recognized, like, wow, this is crazy. Like, this is such a different level of opportunity. Like, just even being born in the United States, what an opportunity and a blessing it is that, like, we have education all the way through high school. We don't have to pay for it. I guess taxes, but we don't have to pay for it. We get to go, and we're understanding the impact that this school has and seeing that so many of these kids, it was to even get past 6th grade was a challenge. And then once to get there, to get through high school is almost impossible, seeming impossible. And so seeing that the impact that this had on their families, where these families are saying, you are providing our kids an opportunity to not only get through 6th grade, but to go through high school and maybe even college, that they don't have to come and do the same thing that I'm doing, weaving these shirts or farming or all these different things, I think for me was really transformative. And the second being when we were in a different village, I think the second day, we met Juana. And Juana, she had recently become blind and was blind, living by herself. And her son, I believe, was not with her anymore, widowed. And just the strength of her own faith and how much she trusted in God was so powerful and so impactful to see that she, in the midst of all the hardship and the circumstances, she trusted that God would provide. She trusted that God would meet her where she was at. And we actually got to worship with her. And because she couldn't see, I mean, it was just like as we worshiped, just the tears, and then she sang to us, and all of us were just enthralled with like, wow, she has such an authentic and real faith in Jesus and knows her eternity. And I think the Lord had really struck me with the reality of, he just kept going, Andrew, imagine what she's going to be like in eternity. Like, you see her now, she's by herself, blind, all these things are coming against her. Like, imagine what her faith will be like for all of eternity. And so I think those two things combined had really given me a heart for going, and honestly, as a ministry that I think there's so many ministries that we can give to. There's so many good organizations out there, but I think seeing the tangible life change and the impact in the face of such hardship, that to me it was so compelling, and such a great reason to go back, to give, to tell people about, wow, God is on the move in this place, and I want to be a part of it.
Well said, Andrew. I think for myself, in even reflecting over these past few days of preparing to share okay, why go? Well, Lord, why did I go? Why did you choose me? Why did I say yes? And I don't even think I told Zach this before going, but I honestly did reconsider leading up, a few days before the trip of, Lord, am I supposed to go through with this? And I had felt so anxious and so full of doubt. And looking back, it was so clearly the enemy trying to prevent me from picking the fruits that the Lord had waiting for me and my team in Guatemala. And I'm so glad that I continued to say yes to the Lord, to Zach, and most importantly, Julie. Didn't want to back on my word. Didn't want to make her upset. Arun, I'm sure you know where I'm coming from with that. And I'm so glad that I followed through on my yes to the Lord and to this trip, because it was the most beautiful, life-changing, and special trip I've just ever been a part of. And now looking at these photos across the room on the tables, these are no longer just photos of kids of, okay, I know that they're impacted by NFE and there's all this great stuff, but now seeing their faces in videos and in these photos, we now know their stories and where they're coming from, and also all of the blessings that the Lord has given to these kids and the futures that he's blessing them with NCS and with NFE. And I think what was extra special about this is that within this mission trip, within our group, yes, we said yes to going and impacting these kids and bringing the language of play and bringing games and pieing people in the face and singing worship songs and dancing and just so full of life. And in saying yes to the Lord and being obedient in our walk with him, he impacted our own lives. And I can say that even from my own heart of, this was the first mission trip I had ever said yes to in my life. And I knew that the first one I wanted to do was going to be the right one. And I knew this was the right decision as soon as we stepped foot at Nicolás Christian School. And just to be with those kids, whether they were in high school, the adorable preschoolers, the kids within the city of Los Angeles, just to see them so welcoming and warm to us, to people they had never met before, but were so excited to play with us, get to know us, play soccer with us, just do all these wonderful things with us. And just to know that they clearly loved the Lord with all their heart, and that the blessing of the Lord was so evident in their lives, and because of that, we were blessed. And so if you're considering going, there are multiple reasons of why you should say yes, but in saying yes to the Lord and being able to do ministry for these kids and to provide for them and spending time with them, not only are you being able to see the changes that God is making in their lives, but in doing so, God also changes your own heart and works in your own life. And also, it's just beautiful. The school, the campus, being with Yvonne, all beautiful, all blessings. And so if you would love to talk more and ask questions about what a trip is like, what you're able to do. I mean, even within our team, we had a multifaceted team, people with so many different skills, and being able to see friends and people I've known for years just use the talents and skills God has given them, with Zach and Andrew speaking, Martine leading worship, being able to lead dances with Katie and with Madeline and with Emily was just a dream come true. And so if you have special skills and talents, the Lord wants to use those in Guatemala. It's not meant for just one type of person, but the Lord is able to use anyone that says yes to him. And so if you'd love to talk more, I know I would love to talk more about this trip. I'm sure Andrew would, or anyone who went on this past trip would love to as well. So thank you.
Hey, I have to just say, Andrew and Gabby and Zach and the rest of the team, you all made a tremendous impact on the students at Nicolás Christian School. You shared your faith stories, your testimonies. You prayed with them in ways that I hope I can describe adequately to you in the future, because hearts were moved. They were crying, the students were crying, the teachers were crying and asking for prayer. There was a big line of people asking for prayer. God was on the move that day. And thank you for your willingness to step out for God, to go on that trip. And Lisa Phelps, we're praying that same kind of thing for you and the Bel Prez youth team that's going in July. May those kids each have an opportunity to share why God is important to them, and may God use their trip to change them and to change the kids at Nicolás Christian School. Well, good evening, everybody here. My name's Becky Merritt. I'm currently the president of Nicolás Fund for Education, and it's so good to see this room full of people. This church, thank you, Pastor Michael, for letting us use this church. The ambiance in here, the warmth and community, there's just no place like it. This is a wonderful place to have our Fulfilling a Dream event. And you all are the believers and encouragers of dreams and a more equitable world. I don't know if any of you have ever read author David Brooks, but we at Covenant Living are reading a book he's written recently called How to Really Know a Person. And he describes a person as possibly being an illuminator. You all are the illuminators. You shine your brightness on other people to light those people up so that they feel respected and more hopeful about themselves. Tonight, I humbly stand before you to talk about Nicolás Fund for Education. It's a story about enduring love, and this photo is really old, but some of the kids sitting on those plank benches are our current teachers at Nicolás Christian School. And that is a wood building where the wind whistled through. There is mud all around it. It's a story about transformation and shared belief in the power of prayer and education as a means to overcome poverty. 12 years ago, Al Lopez and Joan Selvig, who's here tonight, Kathy Riper, Lola Levy, and we began a journey with hearts that saw a need. Like many of you, we had been to the Ixil region of Guatemala, a place where chronic, grinding poverty and discrimination has a firm stronghold. It's an area where the dreams of young people seem far out of reach, and as Yvonne said, despair is common. Our shared mission back in 2012 was to pull those dreams back within reach. And we wanted to provide high-quality Christian education to help the next generation overcome poverty. We provided scholarships for 13 students to attend a different Christian school. But we began to see problems with that other school pretty quickly. And in 2016, we decided to start Nicolás Christian School because we thought that we could provide a superior education that was much more Christ-focused. Barney Reynolds, who was in this photo off to the left, unfortunately his part got cut off, but his years of practical experience with our previous partnerships with churches in the Journey with the Village phase was so helpful. Because of those years during Journey with the Village, we had developed strong trust relationships with the villagers that were crucial for them to be willing to allow their children to attend a full-day school. The norm in that part of Guatemala is a half-day education. Kids go home, they work in the fields, or they help around the house so their mom can go work in the fields. They have skin in this game because they give up that help so their kids can attend Nicolás Christian School. And they willingly made that sacrifice. At that time, in 2016, I think we were the only full-day school in the region, and it's interesting to me that more schools are adopting our approach. Bill Safstrom, the academic mastermind of Nicolás Christian School, had joined our board by then, thank God. We would never have taken this step without him. He had started Christian schools in the past in the United States. Bill became our guiding light. And I truly believe that God's provision of Bill and Barney on our board were essential parts of God's plan to fulfilling our mission. With Bill's help, Nicolás Christian School established a reputation, there's Arun in that photo right there, for providing high-quality, full-day education in a region where half-day education was the norm. And even before the pandemic pushed us into digital education, Bill had already launched Nicolás Christian School into the digital age with tablets and ebooks, digital curriculum that we called NICO, New and Innovative Content Offline is what NICO stands for. And in addition to that, Bill started 9 village libraries filled with books because in Guatemala, reading for pleasure is not a cultural habit. We wanted to try to help them learn to love reading the way that we do. Bill's foresight allowed our students to continue their academic education uninterrupted through the digital curriculum we had during the pandemic, even as all the schools around Guatemala closed their doors for more than a year. And I will mention, our students had tablets loaded with NICO in their homes studying a week after the schools closed. We were not ready in the Pacific Northwest for that. So that tells you what Bill Safstrom did. Bill unexpectedly passed away this past February. Sorry. This hard loss of our good friend is deeply, deeply felt. Nicolás Christian School would never have existed without Bill Safstrom's planning and experience. And the 9 village libraries that he helped start are a testament to Bill's legacy. We're so grateful that Bill's friend, Pete Wren. Pete, would you stand so people can see who you are? Pete's agreed to join our board. And Pete's going to continue the work that Bill started. Pete's the assistant professor of curriculum and instruction and assistant dean in the School of Education at Seattle Pacific University. So we're incredibly fortunate to have Pete's highly qualified academic guidance, and we think you'll really enjoy getting to know Pete. To you, our donors, you have always been the wind beneath our wings. I express my heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you. Your love that grew through close encounters with villagers, hugs from children, and your heartfelt prayers have propelled us forward. And truly, we can't do this work without you. Now I invite you to partner with us. In the next phase of our journey, we aim to raise $268,000 this weekend, which is about half of what we're going to need to operate Nicolás Christian School in 2025. But remember, these are not just dollars, these are seeds. Seeds that will sprout into trees of knowledge, dignity, and opportunity for these kids. And with your help, God is accomplishing amazing things at Nicolás Christian School. And we find inspiring individual narratives like Ronaldo's that I'm going to share with you. Ronaldo does, the triumph of our efforts at the school. Ronaldo is a true champion, passionate about his dreams. He's firmly committed to staying in the Ashil region. His parents said, "You can go to the US, we would understand." He said, "No, I want to finish my education at Nicolás Christian School." And despite the financial challenges of his parents' limited resources, he was brave. He chose to stay in the Ashil region. And he wanted, after graduation, to become a civil engineer so that he could use those skills to come back to Kotzal, partner with his father in his masonry business, and add his civil engineering skills to improve what was being built. Well, Ronaldo has accomplished something quite extraordinary. He was the very first person from his state, the state of Quiché, to ever win the very prestigious Juan Bautista Gutierrez Foundation Scholarship, which gave him a full ride scholarship to attend Rafael Landavar University in Quetzaltenango to study civil engineering. I know, and I got an hallelujah. After graduation from university, Ronaldo will return to the Ashil to join his father, Domingo, in his masonry business. And his story shows us that our students can conquer poverty and reach their God-given potential. And Ronaldo's success sends a big message to each one of our students. With God, nothing is impossible. And now Nicolás Christian School is really on the map academically as a center of excellence in the Ashil region. And we'd like to share Ronaldo's very special moment of success with you now.
Hola, mi nombre es Ronaldo, curso de grado de quinto bachillerato. Mi madre se llama Rosa y mi padre Domingo se encuentra trabajando. Vivo en San Juan Cotzal, pueblo lleno de cultura y tradiciones. Mi meta profesional es llegar a ser un buen ingeniero civil y así tener una empresa constructora para poder apoyar a mi padre. Yo podría innovar los trabajos que él realiza para no emigrar a los Estados Unidos.
El haber sido los ganadores de esta beca entre más de 3,000 candidatos es un reconocimiento a su esfuerzo, excelencia, a la perseverancia y compromiso de superación y mejora continua.
El joven Ronaldo Brian Ramos Chamay obtuvo una beca completa en la Fundación Juan Bautista Gutiérrez. Es el primer joven que haya ganado esta beca a nivel de la región de Quiché.
And you all did this. There were 3,000 applicants for that scholarship, and he won. This is the power of what you're doing. And I'm sorry, I get a little bit clamped. I can't believe what God does with money. It's amazing. So next year, another dream is being realized. we're very excited to dedicate our new school building, which will enable us to educate twice as many students. And I just want to explain the plan. Every year we hope to add an additional 30 students in our 7th grade class and gradually ramp up the number of kids at the school over several years. So eventually we'll have 300 students in this school, God willing. And the school's much closer to where the students live, so some of them will actually be able to walk to school. Their parents will be able to come to school for meetings by foot instead of having to take expensive tuk-tuks to get there. And also, the school's going to be a resource for the whole community because we will be able to use those classrooms for things like Alcoholics Anonymous meetings or lectures, concerts, graduations for other schools in addition to our own. So it's really a gift to the whole community of Quetzal. Gosh, maybe even Wind will have their Oreb graduations there, Rich. Our students will enjoy many high-tech features. It's a beautiful, light-filled building on a stunning tree-filled property that we have prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed over. There's a saying by Josh Shipp, every kid is one caring adult away from being a success story. This, my friends, encapsulates the essence of our message. Each one of you is that caring adult, the catalyst transforming the lives of the children at Nicolás Christian School through education and prayer. And in conclusion, remember this: every act of educating a child is an act of love. A famous woman named Holly Boone told me that. It's an act of love to educate someone, and it can never be taken away or destroyed. You, all of you, are that caring adult who makes each child at Nicolás Christian School's education successful. They definitely feel your support and prayers, and they're so very, very grateful. They love that you pray for them. They know you pray for them. We have a monthly prayer meeting the 3rd Saturday of every month. These kids submit heartfelt prayer requests, and we get about 10 typed pages of individual prayer requests from our students and their teachers. You can be a part of this meeting. It's virtual, it's online. They know that we pray for them. They believe in the power of prayer. And from the bottom of my heart, and on behalf of all these kids and their families, I thank you. And now I'd like to bring Ivana Spanya back up here to introduce our final student story. Yvonne?
Thank you, Becky. You may put this right here. Thank you. Failure is the opportunity to start again, just this time more wisely. Our next hero, it's one student who overcame a huge variety of problems. One of them was the end of the world to her because she didn't pass 10th grade. In a culture like ours, women are not supposed to attend school. So the family gave her the opportunity to attend the school, but she didn't make it. She didn't pass. Now what? Have to return home? The family got together and they decided to give her a second chance. We all deserve a second chance, right? And not only that, but she was one of the students who really wants to attend our greenhouse program. And we said, of course, we will give you a second chance and we will give you the opportunity to attend the greenhouse program. And she said, yes. But, small detail, there is no water in San Juan Quetzal. No water, no water. It's very difficult those days. So you will see how the family got together, even the brothers of her, and transport water from her home in Los Angeles to the place where the greenhouses are, using a kind of motorcycle that we call tuk-tuks. So let's take a look at this.
Each morning is our fresh start and the chance to correct mistakes. Is the chance we all deserve to grow and welcome the possibility of change with open arms.
Mi nombre es Elda Isabel, esta es mi historia. Yo estudié la primaria en la escuela de Los Ángeles y me pasé al colegio cristiano Nicolás porque mis papás no tienen la posibilidad de pagar mis estudios. Yo vengo de una familia que se ha enfrentado a situaciones difíciles y somos 7 hermanos y yo soy la 5ª hija de la familia. El Fondo Nicolás para la Educación abrió una puerta que pensé que estaba cerrada para siempre. Desde que entré en el colegio cristiano Nicolás, mi fe ha aumentado mucho a través de los devocionales y ahora tengo la esperanza de tener un futuro mejor.
El fracaso es una gran oportunidad para comenzar de nuevo. Este es el caso de Elda Isabel, que en 4º bachillerato perdió el año, pero se le dio nuevamente la oportunidad por parte del colegio cristiano Nicolás.
Cuando entré nuevamente a 4º bachillerato, dije yo, adiós, quiero que este año sea lo mejor, porque yo no puedo estar perdiendo de nuevo y echando mis años a perder. Entonces mis papás desde ahí me empezaron a apoyar, me dijeron, no te preocupes, nosotros estamos contigo. Dios me abrazó, no sé, sentí una alegría de parte de Dios. Antes no sabía de Dios, pero cuando supe de Dios, supe que Dios siempre estaba ahí para estarme ayudando todo el momento. Desde que conocí el colegio, es como si hubiera conocido una persona muy importante en mi vida que pudo cambiar mis metas, mis sueños que tenía. Los animo para que no se dejen caer por cualquier situación que venga, algún tropiezo que pueda haber en sus vidas. Y a veces nosotros como jóvenes lo que nos importa es que si ya fracasamos mejor lo dejamos ahí, pero no es eso, sino que tener que luchar por lo que un día soñamos y luchar más para que nunca volvamos a caer en esos errores.
¿Qué mensaje les mandarías a las personas que nos están viendo en cualquier parte del mundo?
Quiero que Dios los siga bendiciendo más y más para que siga apoyando a más jóvenes como nosotros queremos alcanzar nuestros sueños. Una de mis metas es estudiar en la universidad, graduarme de ingeniera agrónoma emprender un propio negocio, sembrar diferentes hortalizas y poder apoyar a mis padres.
This family is living the Guatemalan dream, thanks to you.
Together, we can assure that 180 more students can live their dreams just like Elda. Elda is a giant example of someone who overcame adversity, obtains a fresh start through Nicolás Christian School greenhouse program. She located water to be able to irrigate her crops, and now Elda succeeds in both academic and entrepreneurial endeavors. Elda had purchased a greenhouse for her family, assisting them in overcoming poverty.
Hola, everybody. My name is Paul Selvig, and we've reached a point in the program where everybody gets to be involved, so congratulations, all your dreams have come true. We've done the show and tell portion, and we appreciate your attendance and your attention, but now it's tag, and you're it. So, this is the time where we get to ask you to partner with us and take an active step to keep this fantastic organization growing and going. Now, they call what they asked me to do right now the ask. It happens at every fundraising event you've ever been to, and I know that some that I've been to, it seems more like the sell than the ask. The good news is, I don't have to sell you on something or convince you about anything, because you've just had 55 minutes of that. And as the program states, this is absolutely a cause worth supporting. Now, you've seen and heard the impact that NFE is having in Guatemala. You've heard from people whose lives have been changed, and you're hearing from someone whose life was changed right now. On a Sunday morning back in the year 2000, I was in this sanctuary reading the bulletin before service, and it talked about a mission trip to Guatemala. And on a whim, I decided to go. And that experience with the people in the Guatemalan highlands changed my life. On that trip, I met the Nicolás for whom this organization is now named. And flash forward 24 years, I'm a member of the board, and I have the privilege of asking you formally to join us in this endeavor. Now, we need your prayers. That's an absolute given. We value them. We love that you give them to us, and we ask that you continue to pray for this organization and the students down in Guatemala. We would love your time as a volunteer or to join a future team that goes down there on a trip. You could end up with a fantastic vest like Al's or a shirt like this, although I don't think anyone gets a coat as cool as Yvonne's. You've got to know people for that. But the good news is you can all still go on the trip, and it will be fantastic. And now we're also asking for your financial support. I can tell you from personal experience that this organization is both efficient and effective. Thanks to the hard work of so many people here and in Guatemala, and overwhelming blessings from God, we're able to turn your gifts, your investments, I should say, into amazing results. Currently, 88% of donations go directly to programs, so low admin costs, we're very efficient. Now, you also hopefully have seen how gifts truly help break the cycle of poverty through education. I wrote it down so I didn't miss any of them. But this organization, this grassroots organization that we have put together, provides the village libraries, a preschool, the elementary schools and the tutoring programs in the villages, the incredible education provided by the staff to the students at Nicolás Christian School, continuing education offered to teachers in the region, vocational trainings, adult literacy classes, all ages are served, and it's creating lasting change that is impacting individuals, families, and the communities in what people have said, and they're 100% right, is a breathtakingly beautiful part of Guatemala. Now, I know many of you are already donors, and we are so thankful for your support. We hope that you will continue that support and, maybe even increase it, wink, wink, not judge. And we also know there's people here that are gonna take their first step to supporting NFE in a financial way. And your gift in whatever amount will be handled with care and prayer, and we thank you in advance for your generosity. Now, there are a few different ways you can give, and if you're a table host right now, you have an envelope at your table. If you can pass out those forms. We've got the paper way. You can fill out this form. You've got a fantastic pen at your place. There's also inside the program, if you know how to do it or there's a young person near you that you want to ask, there is a QR code inside the program. It doesn't have to be a young person, just someone who doesn't look scared of a QR code. It could be an older person, that's fine too. And then you can also always mail a check. We do old school stuff as well. But take a moment and also note on the paper form on the back, I know there's a lot of companies that do matching. If you work for one of those companies, make sure you note that, and there's also a place there where you can note if your company isn't listed and you want us to help them get involved. So take some time, take a look at those forms. Again, when you're done with them, you can hand them back to your table host, who will put them safely in that envelope. We will gather them up, and we will respect anything that you do. We appreciate in advance, and we know that God will take anything that we give and will bless it more than 10, I won't even limit to tenfold, way more than tenfold, let's say. All right, so take a moment and do that, please.
Thank you all again for your donations. I don't want to rush you, but after you've given the table host your donation, we want to thank you for coming tonight and ask God to bless all of you and keep you safe in your trip home. For those of you that have an extra 20 minutes, we could certainly use some help to tear things apart and box it up to take it home. I know the March team has generously offered to help us tear things down too. So thank you all so much for the gift of your time tonight. I know there's a lot of ways you could spend your Friday night, and you chose to be here, and we're grateful for that. Thank you again.